Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining our pre-conference podcast of Future Bridge. My name is Olga, and I'm excited to tell you that today's podcast is dedicated to Mining for Zero, which will happen in Barcelona this upcoming November. My guest today is connecting to me straight from US. I have Will Hunt of Orica. Will, thank you very much for joining. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for the invitation, Olga, and nice to be here.
Great. Will, I have several questions for you prepared for today, and I'm very excited to start with the very first one. Would you be able to tell us more, since Orica is actually well known for blasting and explosive, and how actually does the digital team fit into Orica strategic vision? That's the first question I'm curious to know.
Sure. So Orica has been in the explosives and chemical business for a long, long time. Previously ICI, and now Orica, and Orica is well known for providing those products to the mining industry. What we're doing in the Orica Digital space is creating value for our customers and for non-Orica customers. So the mandate of Orica Digital is to create and introduce products to the mining industry that enhance safety, that create value, that save time, effort, resources, so that material can be extracted at the lowest cost as safely as possible.
Thank you very much for your answer. And what is actually your role in Orica Digital?
So I came to Orica Digital about a year and a half ago through an acquisition of my company, along with the people that worked with me in that company and the assets of that company. We had invented grade control optimization and blast modeling products. And what Orica recognized was that it's really important to be able to track material through that blasting process. There's a spatial and temporal disconnect between things that are planned in situ and when the material is actually being excavated. And this is surface mining specifically. But Orica has a suite of other products that do things on the front end and the back end of what we do, and we connect those products together. For example, the integrated extraction simulator, which came out of CRC Ore in Australia, is a mine-to-mill optimization program. So what that program does is it actually forecasts what you're going to receive out of rock when it actually hits the mill, and gives you some optimal blast designs to create the appropriate fragmentation to liberate the material, liberate the metal most effectively. But if you're going to track that material from the in situ stage to the point that it actually reaches the mill and understand that performance, there's a disconnect in the blast. Likewise with things like FragTrack. FragTrack is a state-of-the-art fragmentation system that Orica developed that actually gathers data along the face as excavation is taking place. So instead of a couple pictures being used to represent a P80 or a distribution of fragmentation in a blast, this actually looks at thousands of data points as the blasts are being excavated. Well, through our technology and the acquisition of our technology, we do something called in situization, patent pending system that we created, to take that data gathered along the face or anywhere post-blast, put it back to its in situ location and overlay it with the designs to make the designs smarter. So we provide that link in the Orica Digital space. My particular OREPro team does. We provide that link in digital space between in situ and post-blast. And we also optimize through that process. So one of the things that we brought to the industry was the ability to confidently and quickly model the blast movement, as well as overlay polygon optimization methodologies to suggest the delineations that achieve highest value. So that means send this material to that location and that material to that location. We want to help our customers make that decision in a way that maximizes their profit. So that's the space that we fill, and we connect that in situ to post-blast space, but it fits into this greater Orica strategy of being able to carry information from drilling and ore body intelligence all the way through the mill operations and recoveries.
I see. And since we here started to talk about blasting, I am curious. I'm having you here as an expert on the podcast, and I'm curious where actually do you see grade control and blasting in maybe 5 or 10 years from now?
It's a good question, and I think I think the inventions of other industries are finding their way into mining, which traditionally takes a long time. But the pace is starting to increase. So digital twins have become more viable as computer power has become stronger. The advent of GPUs from the computer gaming industry has effectively let us take the computer power of, in one little space, like a computer chip, a GPU, can duplicate the equivalent of like 18,000 CPUs. So the graphics processing units open up all kinds of really interesting calculations that can be done in near real time. So that allows us to do things like build virtual reality simulations of the mine in real time, or time-based digital twinning. And when you can start to go down that road, which we've already been doing, you can then start to create models that learn, that can predict and react to what is actually being done, instead of hoping that everything goes the way that you want to go. So, case in point, something I'm going to demonstrate in this conference. I'm going to show some videos of this. We've created a near real-time digital simulation of blasting that allows you to take the exact same starting conditions and create multiple blast designs, fire them in seconds inside of this virtual simulation, and see which ones create the highest value. And that's something we were never able to do before. I mean, it is a true game-changing technology. So I'm going to demonstrate that in Barcelona and look forward to doing. But that's where I believe grade control and blasting are going. They're going to become more synergistic. They're going to become tied together more closely. And we're going to take a lot of the things that exist in reality and be able to duplicate them in virtual space.
Well, the future is exciting, right? And my final question, actually, for our pre-conference podcast here today, is how you and actually your team preparing for that future.
So we've created a digital twin that changes with time. We call it a model in time. And that product is called OREPro Hub. So essentially what it does is every time you blast, the in situ rock is cut out of the model, and the post-blast rock is inserted in real space. But the post-blast rock is tied to the in situ locations. So as an excavator is taking a scoop, we can say where that rock started its life and do an instant reconciliation of that volume or any other volume, blast volume, whatever it might be. We can tie blasts together, as well as deplete blasts as they're being dug in a virtual, in a virtual reality system. So as opposed to discrete single blast optimization, we've developed a system that is mine-wide, and it essentially enables operational mine-to-mill. So mine-to-mill, the concept's been around for a long time, but it was generally, let's take some measurements and let's do some forecasting, and this is what you should do going forward. It's not the kind of tool that people use on a daily basis. But with the other Orica Digital products, as well as OREPro Hub and OREPro 3D, the systems that we've created, that is essentially enabling operational mine-to-mill. And I'm going to show some of the things that we've built, this time-based digital twin, as well as the predictive modeling simulations, and show how that makes serious impact to mining companies' operational planning, as well as their ultimate recovery, right? I always have this conversation with people. Would you rather get the most value, or would you rather your spreadsheet match? And unsurprisingly, the answer is both. So this system that we've created allows for you to plan for what is going to happen, react to what did happen, and through that entire system, optimize what is going where and track what went where to enable better predictions. So that's what I'm going to get into in my presentation in Barcelona, and I am really thankful that I was invited to do this and look forward to presenting it.
Great. Thank you very much, Will, for sharing some insights here with us on our pre-conference podcast. We are extremely excited to see you in person in Barcelona and to hear more about what actually the future of blasting and explosives are here to bring us. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.